All right, folks, so we're going to talk a little bit about how to figure out direction on a map. And it seems like it would be a pretty easy thing to do, but there are some common tricks that are used to word questions sometimes so people can get really backwards. So what I have here is a map of modern-day Egypt that we're going to use for this. And as you can see, we've got the Mediterranean Sea, we've got the Red Sea, the city of Cairo is up here. That's where the Great Pyramids are. We've got the Western Desert, the Nubian Desert, and lots of cities and things located here. I don't see a compass rose anywhere on this map. So if that's the case, if you're dealing with a map that does not have a compass rose, you can assume that the top of the paper is north. It's just kind of a traditional communication tool that's been unofficially agreed upon, and so that's kind of like a stop sign in every country means to stop your car. The red octagon means the same thing everywhere you go. If a map doesn't have a compass, you'll look at the top being north. And just to review the directions, we learned little phrases and things like that throughout elementary school, like never eat soggy waffles, or never eat sour wheat, never eat soggy watermelon or sour watermelon. But that helps us. We know that when we go around like a clock, that we're looking at the correct order of things. So I'm going to teach you a trick, and I'm doing this kind of upside down because of where my camera is, so that's why my N is backwards, guys, so I apologize for that. But I want to show you a pretty surefire way to figure out which direction a city or a location is from another location when you use a trick similar to this. So I've taken just a transparent piece of plastic, and I've drawn the compass rose on there. Now, when you learn this and you practice this, you won't need this plastic anymore. You'll be able to just do it. So let's say that a city question that I'm reading on an assignment says, which direction would you travel to get to Cairo from Rosetta? Okay, so I have my two cities. I have Cairo and I have Rosetta. So I have to find them both. There's Cairo and there's Rosetta. Now let's think about the question again. The question asked me, which direction would I travel to get to Cairo from Rosetta? So the question is meant to trick us. I, in my brain, think I should start at Cairo because it was the first one I read. But I have to put my tool on the city, so I'm going to center my starting point in the center of this tool, okay? So what city am I starting in? What direction will I travel to get to Cairo from Rosetta? I'm starting in Rosetta, okay? So our brain has to do that switch. Just because Cairo's mentioned first doesn't mean it's where we're starting. So I'm going to take my tool and I'm going to put Rosetta right underneath that plus sign, okay? So now I can, with my finger, I can trace which direction Cairo is. And I would be traveling this direction to get to Cairo. Well, that's not either one, so I have to think about my secondary directions. It's halfway between south and east, so therefore I am traveling southeast to get from Rosetta to Cairo. Okay, let's try another one. Which direction would I travel to get from Aswan to the White Desert? Okay, again, look for the word from. I said, which direction would I travel to get from Aswan to the White Desert? So I said Aswan right after the word from. So Aswan is where I'm starting. Now, remember on a map, just because the name travels, a little distance because of the length of the word, it's the dot that we're focusing on. Okay, So I'm going to put my tool, make sure north is facing the top of my paper, and I'm going to put my tool on the dot that represents Aswan, and I'm going to travel, and I'm going to say, okay, here's the white desert. Now, do I say west-north, or do I say northwest in my answer? Well, somewhere along that rules of communication from map reading, they have made north and south be the ones we mention first, okay? So I'm going to say northwest, not west-north. Northwest will be my answer. Let's try one more, and I'm going to try it without my tool, okay? So which direction would I travel to get to the Sinai Peninsula from the Great Pyramids of Giza? Which direction would I travel to get to the Sinai Peninsula from the Great Pyramids of Giza? So there are the pyramids. That's what I said after the word from, so that's where I'm starting. I'm starting here, and I'm going in that direction. And if I think about my cardinal directions, north, east, south, west, I am traveling east. Now, the Sinai Peninsula is kind of big. So if I said east, I could say east, I could say northeast, I could say southeast, because I'm traveling all of those directions in order to get to somewhere on the Sinai Peninsula. So, but the most direct answer is east. All right, folks, so that's one tool that you can use to practice finding directions. Make yourself a little tool like this to help you locate directions, and remember to think about the word from.